That's just what I just was told. I have no idea.
Because I understand that we're back coming out of the pond. Is that correct? Okay.
I'm not sure about that just yet. We know it'll still be visible from Highway 72. We do have 3 locations, one in the courtyard area between the 2 wings of the building. This has always been true. One near the entrance to the driveway at the end of the pond. And then in the pond is still on the table unless our interim superintendent has more objections. So we're working on all 3 to make it safe and sound and viable, and there will be an engineer involved in all 3 choices.
Thank you. Mr. Blue, what is the approximate weight of this piece that they're requesting?
Our closest guesstimate based on the type of equipment we had used unloaded off the trucks that hauled it out there is going to probably be somewhere between 8 and 10 tons.
But Ms. Cheney, you're not going to use the entire piece, right? You're going to cut it down.
Most of it we would divide, yes sir, most of it so that it is feasible to move it. I think the reason why it is where it is because it's unmanageable, very big and heavy, and yes, we would divide it.
So even once we have altered the piece, I would still estimate best case scenario between 4 and 6 tons, Mr. Blue.
Yes, sir, I would say so.
We're thinking 3.
Okay.
Okay.
3 tons. And you said an engineer will be involved. Do you have somebody doing that type of work to make sure it's structurally sound?
Right now, city and hardware engineers, but that one too is still on the table.
And my understanding is it's still your concept that you're going to have seating underneath the structure. Okay. So there'll be some safety issues that need to be addressed there structurally, right, to make sure it's a safe gathering area. Mr. Ball, did you have something?
I was just going to interject. We was talking about the engineer. Because it's a school campus, what was formerly the Alabama Building Commission is now the Division of Construction Management. They will require, before we do any permanent change to that school campus, plans being submitted to them and approved. As I talked to him and I talked to Angel about it, that sounds like a real big thing, but typically he said, we normally work with no in-person architect, that someone within their design staff, a structural engineer, architect, if we could give them the basic outline, sketch type thing, they can put that to blueprint and submit it to Montgomery for approval. So it will have to be stamped by a structural engineer or an architect who has a structural engineering department.
Is there anyone here in addition to the school members that is in support of this project? Is there anyone here opposed to this project? Anybody have any questions? Mr. Smith?
Nothing, I think I'm pretty well had all I made up.
Anything else that you guys have to say? We'll set another public hearing for next week, just prior to the council meeting, and then we'll see if we can.
I'd like to add, we were talking about this, the pieces that we don't use will still stay with the city.
Again, I will reiterate, my concern is that once we cut into this piece, I want to make sure that we have a firm plan in place before we alter the That concludes the public hearing. Thank you very much. We'll reconvene at 6 o'clock. Kimmer and pledge led by Mr. Gary Stewart.
Almighty God, we ask your special blessings upon this mayor and council this evening as they go about the public business. Lead, guide, and direct them in all that they do. We also ask your special graces on our educators and our community as they start their first full week of school. Be with them, the children, and the parents of the children who hopefully will be helping the teachers make these people better citizens. These things we ask in Jesus Christ's name. Amen.
I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First on the work session this evening is Goose Pond Colony Marina expansion. Mr. Sussman.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for giving me a little bit of time to come discuss a couple of things that we got planned this winter. Before I talk about the marine expansion, I want to mention that every year we have what we call special projects money. That's basically our profit that we put back into the facility. And I wanted to mention that because I want to tell you one thing that we got planned this year, as well as the other one that I'm here to talk about. This year, we plan to finish up our campground expansion project that we've been working on since 2009. We've taken about $100,000 to $60,000 every year and put back into the campground, and that's adding sewer to every campsite. When I first started, we had 19 campsites that had sewer on them, and now we're over 115 campsites that have sewer on them. By the end of this year, all the campsites, the last 24 that are eligible for it, will have it. And then we built a few campsites last year that will never, well, they won't have sewer on them because we won't leave a few of them open, and they happen to be waterfront. But that's something that we're about to send out to bid and about to get to work on. And again, we've been working on this project since 2009, and I look forward to finishing this project because then we can put those resources into some other projects in the next years down the road. It might be cabin expansions or different things that we're working on. We're not planning on doing another cabin expansion this year, and mostly for the reason is that I've got two projects, this project and another project that we'll be working on, and I feel like that's all our manpower can handle at one time is those two pills at once. The campground expansion I plan to finish up as quick as we can and move on. The next thing that we're planning on doing is, as you know, in 2015 we did a $2 million project, which we used bond money to build and expand a new marina. We call it a new marina because it's actually kind of separated from where the other marina was. We built new infrastructure, parking lots, all sewer and electricity, and everything went into that. We built one dock, it's called Dock 6. We also have room for Dock 5, which would be between that dock and the road, and we have room for Dock 7, which would be between the channel coming in and Dock 6. We built the infrastructure for those other two docks for whenever we're ready. The only thing we didn't do is dredge for it because dredging is kind of expensive. We got permits on them that are mostly 20 years old or will last until we get ready to do them. So, we have some time to do those, and we have time to grow and grow smart. When we built Dock 6, we built 44 slips. They range anywhere from the size 44-foot boats to the size 54-foot boats. The next phase at the end of that dock should really be 72s and 80-foot boats. The space allows for that. The only problem is the demand's not there for that size boat. We've got no one on the waiting list wanting to come for 72s and 80s right now. So what we've decided to do is we would like to expand Dock 6 and build 54-foot boats, or slips for 54-foot boats. what we're finding out is a lot of people who have 44-foot boats are renting the 54-foot slips and paying the additional price and then a little deck on the back of it. We had 35 people on a waiting list for that. What we've done is we've called those 35 people on our list and asked that if we were to expand, would they want to be on that new expansion, and asked them that we would be asking for 2 months rent to do that, which that rent would be applied to their rent if they stay. If they back out, they would lose that. We got 13 people that are willing to come. So what we're wanting to do is expand Dock 6 with 16 more 54-foot boats, and then once we pay this off, what we'll do is break that off, and that'll become part of Dock 5 when we get ready to build Dock 5 in the future. 7-10 years down the road is when we do that next expansion. And just really goodwill. I'd like to come. I want to come and kind of talk with you about what our plans are and where we are on things. Now, to do this project, we bid it out to everyone. We're in the process of getting the financing finalized right now, and we'll have to borrow about $450,000. This dock, each slip, at 54-foot slip, will rent for $355 a month, which will bring us $5,680 a month, or $68,160 a year. The information I'm seeing on a loan is a loan would probably cost us between $4,100 and $4,500, depending on what rates we get. So we would have some excess cash on it. And what I bid out is a 10-year term, and with either a 10 or a 7-year amortization on it, so that what we would do is we take all the money that we get every month and pay it into it early. And if we did that, if we were 100% full, which we're 103% full right now, if we stayed 100% full, we would have that paid off in 7 years. So I just kind of want to let you guys know what we're thinking about. And this is something a little new for us. We typically we've done $4.5 million worth of improvements since 2010. Half of that was a bond money for the marine expansion. Some of that was some grants that we work with you guys on, TVA, and some different organizations on grant projects. But we take all those funds and reinvest back into the facility as quickly as we can. And this is just another way of doing it. The problem with the marinas is there's a lot of upfront cost. You can't do it like we've been doing the campground, a little bit each year and stretch it out over 8 years. You kind of have to do it all or nothing. Does anybody have any questions or any comments? Anything I might have missed?
I do. In the past, I haven't always agreed with Goose Pond and some of the things we were doing, which doesn't mean anything other than the fact that I still agree with it. I fussed about it, but you haven't heard me say anything in a number of years now. I spent some time with Matt Lockman a couple of days ago, and he and I were talking, and he was telling me about all the projects and a lot of the projects you all were doing, and how now you were using in-house money to pay for all those rather than borrowing money. And that's a lot of difference in what you should be. And I really want to tell all of you, including you, that I think you're doing a great job down there with Goose Pond, better than I can ever remember. I've been around 48 years in the city, and I think you're making wise decisions. I think you're doing good work, and I appreciate what you do.
Thank you. That means a lot. We do try our very best not to have to borrow money for projects, and we take a very conservative approach and try to take pieces at a time, and like build one cabin at a time. And we try our very best. This is just one of those projects you can't do it that way. I would love to do it the way I've done some of these other projects in the past and take many years to do it, but just can't do it this way.
I think the way you had explained it to me, the electrical component of this is a significant investment. It's not like, you can float it to another dock. What you've got to do is costly, on the front end, like I said.
Yeah, and our electrical and our plumbing
Yeah.
contractors are both from the city of Scottsboro. Of course, the dog manufacturer, just, there's no one in town that can get it, so I'm proud of that.
Mr. Sosby? Sure. Are you bringing this before the council informationally, or are you asking them to give permission under the bond issue for expenditure of capital funds?
I'm mostly just kind of letting you guys know what we're planning. I've been working with the mayor on this issue of the process that we need to do to take that next step, and I think he and I have discussed where we should be on it.
Thank you a lot.
Thanks, sir. Thank you. Thanks for your time.
Next is discuss approval for access easement in vicinity of Highway 79. Mr. Parks?
Yes, sir.
Got a little handout here that might. This may be a little better. When we were here several weeks ago, one of the copies was not that great, and that was proven to be a little bit of a hurdle. I don't want to leave this butler out down here, so I made a fresh copy. Council members, Mr. Mayor, Attorney Kinnaman, my name is Will Parks. I'm here tonight to seek approval of the concept of an access easement for Owens Farm 2 LLC. Now, what you can see in front of you on the very first page is a Google image that has outlines of two pieces of property. And in particular, the property in blue, I think it is. Let's look at my copy. Yes, the blue copy is the Owens Farm property, and then the red property outline belongs to Jerry and Heidi Holt. And the reason we're here is because it's no secret the Holts and Mr. Owens, Billy Owens for Owens Farm are in the probate court right now, having court over the issue of condemning a private right-of-way, which is something that the law provides for landlocked owners to have a way of access to the public road. As you can see from the first page and probably the second page of what I handed you, Owens Farm's property does not front on the public road. And so this case is going along seeking to acquire an access and to pay for an access. But the unique part of this case, and this doesn't happen much, is that this property where this access would occur is in the city limits. We have these cases all the time, but they're out in the county. This one's unique because it's in the city limits, and why it comes before you is because of that factor. And in particular, the fact that the law says before an access is created in the municipal limits, that the applicant must obtain the approval of the planning body for the municipality as well as the governing body for the municipality. And we first stopped at the planning commission several weeks ago and received approval from that body 9-0. And so we're here tonight seeking approval of the concept that if the probate judge sees fit to create this access in where the white dotted line is on the handout there, if he sees fit to do that, does this body, as the governing body of the city of Scottsboro, approve of that access? Now, this is my first time doing it. I think it's probably the first time Lawyer Kinnaman had seen it and Josh had seen it. I think what they would tell you and what I would tell you, that clearly there are safety concerns, there are planning concerns, there are traffic flow and accommodation concerns. That's why this issue comes before you, to make sure that the probate judge's decision is not in conflict with those important criteria. So, while the ultimate decision on whether or not to create the access lies with the probate judge, we are required by law to seek your approval and the Planning Commission's approval. So what you have before you demonstrates the approval that we seek. And that is that it would be approved or agreeable to the council for Mr. Owens to connect Highway 79. Frankly, where the old Long Hollow Road was before 79 was created. And probably, I guess it's old 79 as well. To connect to the road in the same place where there's an existing turnoff right now and an existing access right now. And I think that's probably demonstrated even better on page 2 of what I've given you, which I believe will show the road, and then you can see in white where there's a turnoff of 79.
Mr. Kennemer, am I to understand that the question before the council is, would this impede on any existing planning that the municipality has at this time?
That is correct to an extent. It has to do with any existing planning or future planning. The Planning Commission has said that it does not violate the ordinance. It does not impact health and safety. Now, whether or not the probate court grants or does not grant, or if it grants how much is paid, is totally immaterial to the city. That is for the probate court to make a determination. But this statute is written badly by the legislature, and has been written badly by the legislature for more than 100 years. It basically says what Mr. Parks said, that people have to, in the city limits, if you're seeking acquisition under section 18-3-1, you have to go before and obtain written approval from the municipal governing body and the planning board municipal governing body. This has not been done in the city of Scottsboro in at least 25 years that I know of, because I've been the city attorney for 25 years. I don't think it's been done in the city of Scottsboro in the last 35 years. Because starting in the 60s and in the 70s especially, our planning commission began doing and continues to do an excellent job in making sure these kinds of situations cannot arise. So this is new ground for all of you. Like I said, it's not up to this council to make a determination if there is a right of way. It's not up to this council to make a determination if it's appropriate for there not to be a right of way. It's not up to this council to make any determination other than, is the proposal violative of our planning and traffic control plan? And your planning commission has already determined 9-0 that it does not.
In all fairness, Mr. Kennemer, it's only been bad law for 98 years.
Well, with the Alabama legislation, Mr. Parks, oftentimes 98 years can seem like 200.
I don't disagree with that.
Any questions for Mr. Parks?
Are we gonna have
I'll give you a chance in just a moment.
are we gonna have everybody who's involved an opportunity to speak on this?
I'm getting to that part. Does anybody have any questions for Mr. Parks at this time? Ms. Phillips, you contacted all adjoining property owners, is that correct?
There was some
Certified letters were sent to property owners that are adjacent to this. I know that we've got a couple here. Has anybody got any discussion?
Yes, we do. Jerry, you want
Our attorney was supposed to be here, and I apologize because I do not know where he is. But he was to meet us here. So I guess it's left up to me. We're talking about the old Long Hollow Road, that has been abandoned by the city.
I'm sorry, ma'am, what's your name?
Okay, my question is,
What's your name?
oh, Heidi Holt.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right. Yes, ma'am, so,
Okay, they're proposing to come in off of the old Long Hollow Road that has been abandoned by the city for 25 or more years. And we live there, Jerry and Heidi Holt, we live there. We have been maintaining that road as our drive. And we also use it to store hay from the field. They're proposing to come across our field, which is also used to cut hay. And also there's that creek there where the cows drink from. So if you're looking at giving that right of way or access there, that's cutting off our cattle. It's cutting off the place where we have stored hay. And we have been the ones that have been maintaining that road. Now, there's also easier ways for them to go into their property. We gave them an easement, and it was a verbal easement, and they were using it since last summer. And that is off of Highway 35, which actually, their map did not show how far their land went back, but their land goes close to 35, and our land has them landlocked on 35, but we gave them access to that. Let me show you the road that they were coming in on. So it seems like what they're doing is they're asking, when they don't like one easement, they're asking for another one. And they were using it. They actually had their lock on the gate that was there. We did not have a key to their lock. Okay, this is the road that they were using. And I'm sorry, I don't have copies for everybody. But this is the road that they were using to come in on. And this is off of Highway 35. And it's a good road. It's an old stagecoach road. And actually, they took their equipment in and made the road wider. So they prepared the road for them to use. So they've been using it. And this is the lock. This is their lock that they put on their gate, the red one right here. And that's not our lock. We didn't even have a key to it. So now they're saying they don't like that way in, and they want to come across our property in front of our house. And so that's our complaint against them. That we've given them a way in, they've been using it, and now they want, as far as, I don't know this, but I think they want to increase the value of their property by coming across ours, across the city, which will devalue our property and cut off our cows from their water. Now that, the place where they're asking to come in is also on a curve. And there's been several accidents there. So it would increase the traffic because this is where they're asking to come in, and there's a curve right there. Now there's other areas that they could cross that would be closer to their land. There's the Lindsay land, which is right here. You have this highway right here. This is their land from here to there. This is the Lindsay land. Right, actually they rented that for a while, the field, and they used the access right here. Here's the highway. This is the Lindsay land. They could go from here to there. But they're asking to come across our pasture when they have a closer access right off of Highway 79.
So who is your owner?
Finest Royal. So that's why we're asking you not to grant this tonight, or to at least wait a while and see what the probate judge decides. Because they do have a way in, and they have a way in off of 35, and they've been using it. They also used the land off of the Lindsay land, and we gave them access across our land right here. And now they're saying, well, that's not good enough either. So now they want it across our pasture. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Hope. And Mr. Kimmer, I'll reiterate, it's not the question before the council to allow access or not allow access. It's not.
That's not the proper course. That's not the proper course.
Any other discussion? We'll set this for the council meeting next week.